Hey everyone, welcome back to NDEB Decode. Today's topic is an important one for your dental exams and practice. What is oral lichen planus? Let's simplify it. Oral lichen planus is a chronic immune mediated mucocutaneous disease. Basically, it's a long term condition where the body's immune system targets the mucous membranes, especially in the mouth. Oral lichen planus most commonly affects the buccal mucosa, but it's not limited to the mouth. It can also show up on the skin, esophagus, and even genitals. The exact cause of oral lichen planus is unknown, but possible triggers include stress, hepatitis C, genetic predisposition, and autoreactive T lymphocytes. True oral lichen planus is idiopathic. If it is caused by medication, it is considered a lichenoid reaction, not oral lichen planus. This typically affects middle-aged females between 30 to 60 years of age, and it occurs in only about 1 to 2% of the general population. There are several types of oral lichen planus: reticular, papular, plaque-like, erythematous, ulcerative, and bullous. The reticular type is the most common one, often asymptomatic and seen on buccal mucosa with Wickham striae. It's bilateral and symmetric with no ulceration. Now, talking about the erosive type, it is the painful one with symptoms with ulcers surrounded by white striae. This type demands more attention clinically. Other types, such as erosive or ulcerative, presents with painful ulcers. Bullous presents with blistering. Papular shows white dots. Plaque-like resembles leukoplakia. Atrophic appears red due to mucosal thinning. The erosive and atrophic types carry a higher risk of transforming into oral squamous cell carcinoma, so keep up with the monitoring. Let's not forget the classic dermatological description of lichen planus with 6 P's: planar, polygonal, papules, purple, pruritic, and plaque. Talking about the pathogenesis, it starts with an unknown trigger or antigen activating CD8 plus T cells. This causes cytotoxic damage to basal cell, leading to liquefaction degeneration of basal cell layer. This leads to formation of civet bodies, and we can appreciate band-like T cell infiltrates. As a result, there could be white striae, red erosion, or chronic epithelial damage. Talking about the diagnosis, it is made via biopsy plus histopathology. There could be sign of liquefaction degeneration, subepithelial T cell band, hyperkeratosis, sawtooth retipex, or we can use direct immunofluorescence if needed. Differential diagnosis of oral lichen planus includes oral leukoplakia, lichenoid contact reaction, lichenoid drug reaction, discoid lupus, mucous membrane pemphigoid, and GVHD. The management of the oral lichen planus includes as a first-line treatment the topical corticosteroids. There can be clobetasol, fluocinonide, dexamethasone rinses, but with this, always add prophylactic antifungals to prevent candidiasis. Severe cases may need systemic steroids, calcineurin inhibitors like tacrolimus or pimecrolimus. There are FDA black box warning on them due to their malignancy risk. Topical or systemic retinoids can be used as well. And always regular monitoring every 6 to 12 months, biopsy any suspicious changes, and educate patient on self-exam. In our next video, we'll be going over some commonly asked question bank questions on oral lichen planus. So don't miss it. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let's keep decoding the NDEB together. See you in the next one.